A 17-year-old Chinese exchange student in the US recently went missing in what local police are calling a case of cyber kidnapping. He was later found in a tent in the Utah wilderness where he isolated himself after repeated threats from scammers telling him if he didn't comply, his family would be harmed in China. It's a new crime trend in which scammers extort victims remotely, convincing their families they have been kidnapped. Cyber kidnapping involves deceiving family members of a victim into believing that their loved one is held hostage and is in grave danger. The scammers use technology to coerce the victim into isolation and capture images that falsely depict his or her confinement. You must be wondering how criminals coerce individuals into isolation. Target victims first have their digital data breached. This follows repeated threats that coerce the victims into isolation for the protection of their personal files. Subsequently, victims are manipulated into sharing their photos and videos in isolation, which are then used for extortion. Family members often panic upon receiving these materials and succumb to ransom demands. Unlike traditional abductions, virtual kidnappers do not kidnap anyone. Instead, they use deceptions and threats to coerce victims to pay a quick ransom, points out US Federal Bureau of Investigation. They say cyber kidnappers contact both the victims and their families, telling each that the other is in danger. Ransomware, however, remains a prevalent cyber threat where the victim's data, files, or systems are locked out, rendering them inaccessible until a ransom is paid to the attacker. But the proliferation of artificial intelligence has expanded the opportunities for scammers. AI is now being used to replicate the voice or appearance of an individual to deceive his or her family into paying the ransom. To protect oneself from cyber kidnapping, the FBI proposes the best course of action is to hang up the phone. Even if one engages a caller, don't call out the victim or loved one's name. One should ask questions that only the alleged kidnapped victim would know, such as the name of a pet. Avoid sharing information about yourself or your family. As cyber threats continue to evolve, staying aware of the menace of cyber kidnapping is important for young individuals and organizations alike. Cyber experts suggest that a robust back-end security infrastructure can prevent such attacks in the first place.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.